Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 208023796, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's a mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
I'm Vera Nelson, broker-owner of Hyde Realty. Hyde Realty is a boutique agency located in Southern California, dedicated to our clients. We cover all of Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Diego, Ventura, and Kern counties. Whether you're looking to purchase your first home or sell your last, my team and I are here to help you. With years of experience representing active service members and veterans, we have the tools to get your offer accepted. We work hand in hand with first-time buyers to help them achieve their goal of ownership. We represent the savviest of buyers and sellers, from investors to probate and multi-million-dollar transactions. The Hive team is ready to help and serve you with the knowledge and experience you deserve. Please reach out today if you would like to discuss your needs and how we can serve you. Once again, I'm Vera, broker-owner of Hyde Realty, 626-298-3025. Vera at Hyde, Hythe, Realty, REALTY.com.
All right, so welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I'm Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and this is take 2 for today. I do apologize to those that joined us right at 1 o'clock. I made a big mistake. I sent out the text message. I set it up to go out for 1 o'clock a.m. instead of 1 o'clock p.m. So I stopped the stream and I waited for the text message to go out at 1:15 p.m. I know that many of you will be joining me today that have questions, concerns. You're not sure what to do. You may have lost your home in the fire. You may be evacuated and there's damage to your home, but it was not a total loss. But many of you also who do not have any damage whatsoever might be thinking, what do we do now? What is going to happen when my fire insurance policy comes up for renewal and they drop me like they've dropped so many others? So in 2023, there were actually over 232,000 policies that were canceled by private insurance carriers. And many of those people did not find fire insurance. And there is fire insurance to be found. So we're going to talk about all of those things today. I want to make sure that I am providing you with resources, key steps, what you need to do, where to start, and how to move forward. If you have had damage to your home, if you're currently evacuated and hoping that there is no damage, or if you do have just a complete loss and your home has been burned. So we are going to talk about that today. I do open this up. This is live. This is on YouTube. So please feel free to ask me your questions. Tell me that you're here. Let me know that you're listening. But if you have questions and if I can help to answer them, I absolutely will. I did a lot of research. So I'm going to start this off by telling you I am not an insurance agent. So I cannot answer specific policy questions that you might have for your own policy. But I can give you a lot of detailed information that I was able to find. Now, I also have been scouring all of the news stations, everything I could find on the internet to help provide you with, the best places and resources that you can do and where you can go to try to make sure that you have the help that you need. So the first thing that I do want to start off with very quickly, and I'm sure that if you've been watching the news, you've seen these, opportunities as well, these options that are there for you to help you. But I do just want to kind of run through those things very quickly. So the number one most important thing is 211. So from your cell phone, you can dial 211. They are going to help you with assistance such as, helping to find you a place to stay if you've been evacuated or if you have lost your home. They do have a program through Airbnb where they have been helping to find temporary housing. Now, I did see right before we went live something about there being vouchers for Airbnb. I believe that they may have already filled up, so they may not have any vacancies as of today. But it is still absolutely worth making that phone call, because remember that there could be a lot of people that are in Airbnbs right now that called 211 that got placed, that were evacuees but have not lost their home, do not have any damage to their home. So when they do exit and go back home, then that is going to open up additional places for you to stay. Now, again, this is what I heard right before I came live, so that doesn't mean that that is absolutely accurate. The very best thing to do is to start. If you are displaced right now, you're staying with somebody, you need to get out of there, you need to find a place to live, call 211, try it, see what they tell you, and worst case scenario, get a voucher for the future so that you can try again and just keep calling every day. The other thing that I have seen is that if you lost a car, you do not have a car, you do not have a way to get places, Uber and Lyft are helping. Uber, I did see, was helping up to a $40 transport. So if the transport that you're looking for is going to be more than that, you would have to pay the difference. But they do have a code that you would put into their app when requesting that ride. And that code is Wildfire 25. So again, this is for people who have lost their car, lost homes, or if you've been evacuated and your car is stuck at your property. This is for people that need the help right now. Lyft also has a code that you can put in that is CA Fire Relief 25. So CA Fire Relief 25, and they are also helping. Planet Fitness is offering free access to showers. They're doing this through January the 15th. Again, I know that that's not going to be nearly long enough to help somebody that's been displaced, that's completely lost everything. But I am sure that there will be more and more and more that comes out as the days go on. But Planet Fitness is helping. If you need a place to go in to take a shower, they are offering that to you to their locations that are still open. There's a lot of things that are happening. There was a Toyota dealership that is offering free rental cars. So definitely what you want to do to find all of the information is there's many, many websites that you can go to. One of the websites that I found that was truly helpful was Convoy. And I've got all of my notes. When you guys see me looking down, I took note after note after note for you guys today. So Convoy of Help, they have a website, and they had a lot of great information on their website, Convoy of Help. So you guys can look them up. There is also Frontline Wildlife Defense. So they had a lot of very helpful information as well for you. But let's go ahead and jump into the steps that you would take if you do have damage to your home or you have complete loss to your home. So I think that that's very important to understand. Let's take you, kind of step by step of what you should be doing. So the very first thing that I would say for you to do, honestly, is to sit down and breathe. I know that sounds silly, but you need to sit down, you need to breathe, you need to collect yourself. Then truly, you need to start making a list of everything that you had in your home, all of your personal belongings, everything that you had in your home that you have lost. So even if you have a damaged home, it is very, very important to have a list of all of the items that are in your property. You want to put also next to that item, how much did that item cost you? Now, I understand that many of you might have lost everything, including computers. Hopefully, many of you had backups in the cloud. So hopefully you can find things in the cloud. For somebody that is watching this show because you're waiting for me to get to what happens if my policy is canceled down the road, this is very important information for you to understand and for you to follow as well. Every single homeowner that owns a home, whether you are, even if you don't believe that you are in the path of the fire, that your home could catch fire, it is very, very important for you to keep good records of everything that you have. Stop today and take 15 minutes and walk around your house. Take pictures of your house. Take pictures of your sofa, pictures of your refrigerator, pictures of your TVs, pictures of everything that you might have. Go into your garage and start taking pictures. Pictures of your computer systems, pictures of your monitors, your bedroom sets, everything that you have, your jewelry box. Make sure that you have got record of everything that you own, because that is going to be very, very important for the insurance companies to be able to see what was in your home. If you have recently purchased a new TV, purchased a new sofa, purchased anything, keep record of those receipts. One place that you could go that can be very helpful, and I know that it's hard. It's like, I don't have that receipt anymore. I didn't keep it. It burned in the fire. So places that I would go that I would be looking for is, I do a lot of online shopping, and many of us do today. Very, very few. We might walk into the store to maybe see the couch in person, and then the next thing you know, you're ordering it online because you found it on a different website for less. Try to remember where you bought things. Go to Best Buy and log in with your credentials to find your recent purchases, and they'll go back really far. Amazon, you guys, go to your Amazon account, go to your recent purchases and start printing receipts. Try in the future, from moving from here forward, again, whether you're a victim of a full loss, damage, or somebody that's had no loss at all or no damage, this could be you, and you could be sitting in this position. So start keeping records, start downloading receipts, put them into a OneDrive file, put them into a Dropbox, put them into somewhere that's in the cloud, so that if you were to lose everything, including your computer, you'd have a place to go to access those things. So the first thing to do, sit down and start to make a list, start to work through trying to find receipts, pictures, go through old pictures that you would have, of a birthday party that you might have had that would show things that you owned in your home. So that's the number one most important thing. You need to document what you have. And in many cases, if you've lost something, what have you lost? So that's very important. I could see that Heather jumped on and said, the devastation is unbelievable. My heart goes out to all those that have lost their homes and those that have been affected by the fires. We are thinking about you and praying for you. So, and I agree with that, Heather. That is why I'm doing this show. I'm hoping that I can just help, even if it's one person that sees this video, that watches this, and I'm somehow helping and guiding, through the steps of what is going to take place from here. So much devastation. You guys, at the very beginning of the show, I ran a commercial for a real estate agent. Her name is Vera Nelson. I work with her very often. She has many clients all over LA. Her home is in Malibu, or was in Malibu, and it was complete devastation. She lost her home. I was on the phone today with a loan processor that is helping me with loans that we have in process, and she has been evacuated. There was a fire. It did burn in her garage. Everything in her home is destroyed by soot and smoke damage. And she, even her water right now, she would not be able to utilize water. There's no power. She can't go back home yet. So many out there. It's just absolutely amazing what the numbers are for the devastation that has been lost. And we are so truly sorry. And this is the best way that I thought that I could reach out to try to help anybody. And I hope that this is helpful information. So again, make those lists, you guys. That's the most important thing. You've got to document what you have. You have to document what you've spent. That's going to be really important for these insurances. So then number 2 is that you're going to reach out to your insurance agent, get a copy of your policy. If you did not lose your home, and again, you're watching because you want to know what to do if your policy gets canceled in the future, which many people in California are going to find themselves in that situation here in 2025 and in 2026. It's bound to happen. It's already been happening since 2018, 2019, 2020. A lot of the policies started getting canceled. So even if you haven't been canceled yet, be prepared that there's a good chance that you will be. So get copies of your policies. Know what your policies are. Again, put them into the cloud, store them somewhere in a file on Dropbox, or somewhere that's sitting in the cloud that you could easily access them again down the road in the future. Rhonda got on and said, you are helping, Debbie. Thank you. So Rhonda, thank you so much. And it's so good to see you here. But, make sure that you guys have copies of your policies, read through them. If you don't understand your policy, call your insurance agent, have them walk you through it, understand what your deductible is, understand what happens if there is a fire and there is a total loss. Does your policy cover your rent somewhere else while you rebuild your home? So that is a very, very important question to ask. And if you've had full total loss right now, these are the questions that you need to be asking when you call your insurance agent. If I go rent another house while I work through the damage on my house, do I have coverage for rents somewhere else to help me to get through? Your mortgage is most likely going to continue to move forward. You are most likely going to continue to have to make mortgage payments. And I say most likely, but we're going to get to that. So you want to make sure that your insurance covers your rent if you get displaced. It's very, very important to ask that question. And again, this is in hindsight for somebody that's already lost their home, but a good question to ask your agent when you get on the phone. If you have a California Fair Plan policy, so again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, 232,000 people just in the year of 2019, it was 2018 or 2019, lost their policies. They lost their insurance coverage through State Farm or through Farmers or through Allstate. Some of the major insurance providers decided to get out of California. If you then moved on to a California Fair Plan policy, you should also have an additional policy. So people that have California Fair Plan have two policies. You have the fire insurance, so it's just like earthquake. California Fair Plan is for a wildfire disaster only. And then you have an additional policy that covers other things. So you want to make sure that if you did get a California Fair Plan, that you would be getting through an insurance broker, that insurance broker also sets you up with a secondary policy. So you should have two policies. So again, find those policies, call that insurance agent, send them an email, have them send you the policies, read through those policies. If you have questions about what your coverages are, call that agent, talk to them on the phone. That agent can also instruct you about how to make a claim. Many of these claims, and we're going to get into FEMA as well, but they've got timelines. It's very important to understand that you've got timelines to make your claims. So make sure that you find out what those timelines are. Some of these claims cannot be made until the disaster's been considered done and over with. So obviously the wreckage from the disaster remains. That is going to go on for years and years and years. But the disaster itself has a starting point. Yesterday, Wednesday, the president declared that it was a state of emergency. That that brings FEMA into the picture, which is really great for everybody that is going through this right now. Had he not done that, FEMA would not have been there to help. And why do you need FEMA? We're going to talk about FEMA and what they do, but it is really important. And I was very happy when I saw that they did that the president did that. So we've got insurance policies. You've made a list. You know everything that you had. You know everything that you've lost. You've got your insurance agent. You're going to get copies of those policies. You're going to find those receipts. You're going to try to find pictures if you didn't have a total loss, if you're still living in your home, if you're there right now and you're safe. You're going to, as soon as we're done with this show, you're going to stop it's going to take you 15 minutes, you guys. Walk around your house, take pictures of your property, take pictures of your belongings, take pictures of your jewelry. If you have expensive jewelry, if you have expensive paintings, make sure that you're calling your insurance agent and you're getting those items added to your policies for additional riders. So those are covered. So it's very, very important to make sure that you're insured accurately. Okay. So from there, your insurance agent's going to help you to get all of those things. They're going to help you to get your claims started. Okay. So that's number one. So let's talk about, we're going to talk about FEMA. Then we're going to talk about what do you do if you need to rebuild your home? Do you have to rebuild your home? Can you choose not to rebuild your home? We're going to get into all of that. And then we're going to get into California Fair Plan if your policy does not get renewed. So let's talk about FEMA. I think FEMA is an important thing for you guys to understand and to know. So FEMA, you cannot apply for FEMA assistance unless you're in an area that has been declared a disaster by the president. So we know that they have declared it a disaster, which is great. So everybody that is in LA County right now, that is dealing with the fires, that is dealing with the loss of a home or damage to a home, or even if you are an evacuee, FEMA is going to now be eligible for you. Other eligibility requirements for FEMA assistance. So this is important to understand as well. So you being a United States citizen, a non-citizen national, or a qualified non-citizen. So you would have to go to their website to actually look up the definitions of what those three things are. But typically it would be somebody who is here on a visa. So you're in the country legally. You may be not a citizen, but you have a work permit. You could be, you could have your green card. So you're here legally, but you're not necessarily a citizen. So if you go to the FEMA website, you can look up the details of those three items. You need to be able to verify your identity. You need to verify that your ownership or your occupancy. So one thing that is really important to understand is that FEMA is typically only going to help when it is your primary residence. So if it was an investment property that you lost, or it was a second home that you lost, they're not going to help you to make up the difference between what is covered with your insurance. So I do want to make sure that I read this out loud, which is what I just said. FEMA assistance is intended to supplement, not replace, the efforts of local, state, territory, or tribal governments. FEMA assistance can cover. So your insurance is going to kick in first, and what your insurance doesn't cover, then FEMA can help to offset the difference of what maybe is not covered. So some good news for people. I was watching the news all night long, like I'm sure that many of you were, and I was watching interviews with people who were trying to hose down their homes. Their reason for that is that they didn't have insurance, that their insurance carrier had dropped them, that they didn't have a policy. So for somebody that didn't have a policy, FEMA is going to help. How much they'll help, I cannot say. I am not FEMA, but FEMA, it will be able to help in some way. Now, realize again that your insurance, if you have insurance, that's going to kick in first, then FEMA's going to try to make up the difference. FEMA will help with rental assistance. So if you do need to be somewhere and renting a property, and your insurance doesn't have a coverage in it that helps to offset rent cost while you're displaced, FEMA could help with that. They have lodging expense reimbursement. So if you are going to a hotel right now and staying at a hotel until you know where you're going to then end up in a more semi-permanent situation until your home has been recovered, they can help with what the lodging accessibility needs, privately owned roads, bridges, and docks, temporary housing units, hazard mitigation. FEMA does a lot of things to help you, but you do have to be able to apply for FEMA. So you can either go to the website, which would be, you can find FEMA, literally Google it and just put FEMA, or you can call. They have an office. It's 505-995-7133. And I'm sure, again, if you Google FEMA, that you'll be able to find more local phone numbers as well. So the good news is that we have seen the president say that this is a state of emergency. It is now considered a national disaster. FEMA is going to be there to help you. So number one, you've got 211. We said that at the beginning. Call 211. Start there. Number two, your insurance agent. Call your insurance agent. That's Number two is to make a list of everything you've got. But number three is going to be call your insurance agent. Make sure that you start filing those claims for your insurance, whether you have just one policy with a independent insurance company, or whether you a private insurance agency, or whether you have California Fair Plan and you have 2 policies, you need to make sure that you are making those insurance claims. Number 3 is going to be to get to FEMA. So make sure that you do an application with FEMA as well for assistance. Read up on everything that you guys can. Please read up on everything. I am 25 minutes into the show and I haven't even started to touch everything that I found as I was doing my research, which I started yesterday. So one day of research got me page after page after page of information. If you are watching this show at a later date, obviously this is going to stay right here on my YouTube, and you have questions and you don't know where to go. Number 1, again, I'm not an insurance agent. I cannot answer questions for you about your policy, but I am a very helpful person. I want to help. My heart bleeds for everybody that has been affected by these wildfires. I am absolutely happy to take your call, talk to you on the phone, give you information that I have found, Google it while I'm on the phone with you, see what information that I can find, and try to help point you in the right direction. So please look at me like mom. I am the mortgage mom. I am here. Who do you call when you're in trouble? You call mom. Please feel free to call me. Please feel free to reach out to my office. I am more than happy to do anything that I can to help assist you. So how do you reach me? Well, it's always the same number. It's 844-935-3634. Or go to my website, go to mortgagemomradio.com. Don't forget the radio, mortgagemomradio.com. And you can send me a message right through the website, the Contact Us button. Tell me what you need, and I will send you anything that I can find to try to help point you in the right direction. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is, do you have to rebuild your house if it burns down? So while some homeowners may want to rebuild their homes after a disaster, others may want to use this as an opportunity to relocate. Many people ask, if your house burns down, do you have to rebuild? The short answer is no, you do not. You can use your insurance payout to purchase a new home. Consider the cost of moving versus cost of repairing or rebuilding after a fire. You'll have the cost of debris removal, mold mitigation, rebuilding materials and labor, and re-landscaping, ideally to the latest fire codes. If your coverage is a replacement cost value policy, these expenses are probably covered. If you have an actual cash value policy, the cost of cleanup may exceed the value of your policy, forcing you to pay out of pocket. So again, it's really, really important to understand what your policy is and what your options and opportunities are. And that is where your insurance agent is going to be the very most helpful for you. But are you required to rebuild that property? There's a good chance that you are not required. It may end up being less expensive for you to rebuild. It may end up being less expensive for you to purchase something new. So you have to look at the type of policy that you have, what it is going to cover, the length of time that it is going to take you to rebuild. These are all very important things for you to figure out and to research. What do you do with fire damaged items? Now, I do want to give credit where credit is due. A lot of this information I did take from websites that I could find, articles that were written, and I am trying to get you guys the details and the information as quickly as I can. So I said at the beginning of the show that Frontline Wildlife Defense was a very helpful website. Some of this information that I am getting, I am taking from that website. So again, Frontline Wildlife Defense. You guys can Google that and find their website. I can see ME came in and said, you are so incredibly I'm sorry, let me start over. You are so incredibly kind to spend so much time investing to help those in need. Do you think the insurance difficulties will affect future purchases and refinances? So actually, and I think this is Mary. I think this is my girlfriend, Mary. She is actually a notary here. And so if I'm right, Mary, tell me if that's you, Emmy, because I see your picture. It's like this tiny on my screen, but I think that's you. So actually right now, if you have a home that is in escrow and you are anywhere at all in LA County, Yes, we are running into issues right now. So let's talk about that really quick, and then we'll get back to the fire damage. If you have a home that is in escrow, I have got 3 loans right now that we're supposed to close today. I have a home equity line of credit for a client that was supposed to close. I have a purchase transaction that is supposed to close, and I have a reverse mortgage transaction that is supposed to close. All today, all in LA County. Because FEMA has said that we are in a state of emergency, that this is the FEMA map is all of LA County. The president has said it is a state of emergency. We are in a disaster zone, right? Now what we have to do is we have to wait for FEMA to declare that we are no longer in the disaster. So like I said a bit ago in the show, you may have to wait to file your insurance claims until the disaster is recognized as over. You may not have to. You need to call your insurance agent. But for a loan, this I can tell you 100%, I cannot fund a loan if you are in LA County and we are waiting for FEMA to say that it is no longer a disaster, that the disaster is over. Once that happens, I have to get the appraiser that did the appraisal on your home to go back out to the property and take pictures. They do not have to go on the inside, but they do have to do a drive-by, and they do have to take pictures of the home to verify that there is no damage to the property. Once there is verification that there is no damage, that you lucked out, we can then go ahead and we can move forward with funding and closing that loan. So, and Mary did say, yep. So Mary's so happy to see you on. Thank you so much. And it was a great question because I did not get to any of that yet. So as far as if you are currently in escrow on a house or a refinance or a home equity line of credit, you are looking to close on a loan against residential property. And I'm going to guess it will be exactly the same for commercial property. So any real estate transaction whatsoever, make sure that you are reaching out to your loan officers. Real estate agents understand that there is going to be a delay. Moving forward, we are going to have a delay in getting things closed. Will they close? Yes. Will they close this month? Most likely. It's going to depend on how long that it takes FEMA to say that to recognize that the disaster is finished. How long is it going to take them to recognize that? I cannot say. Obviously, we need these winds to die down first. That's going to be first and foremost. Weather needs to work with us. Then fires need to be put out. Then FEMA needs to do their thing. So could it be a week? Yes, absolutely. There's a very good chance that you are going to get delayed by a week before you can close your transaction. Are we going to close before the end of this month, January? I absolutely believe that we will. Now, obviously, there's no way to see if there's going to be another huge windstorm next week and more fires break out. And this is something that just continues to drag on and to take place. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't say. But if things play out the way that would be anticipated, I know that winds are kicking up again today. It looks like they're supposed to be over by the end of this weekend. I would hope, I am praying that we see fires, stopped completely in their tracks, maybe hopefully by Monday, as long as there isn't another wind event. So again, I'm not Mother Nature. I can't tell you how long that's going to take, but if you're in the middle of a transaction, expect that right now you're on hold if you're in LA County. And are you going to close? Yes, you're going to be able to close as long as there's been no damage sustained to the property. Now, Mary's other question was, for future purchases and refinances. So exactly what I'm talking about right now, what is happening with properties that are in escrow right now, whether, again, refinance, purchase, home equity line, a real estate transaction of some sort, it's going to be exactly the same thing for all purchases moving forward. They are going to do this for some time. Now, it's going to get easier because obviously a brand new contract comes in my door, January 25th, and the disaster's been deemed done. It's over with. Fires are put out. Everything. Now people are obviously rebuilding. But from that point forward, now we're ordering new appraisals on brand new transactions, and those appraisals are coming in with brand new pictures, the surrounding area, the properties that they're using for comparables and values. So moving forward, it will definitely get easier once this is all behind us. But for right now, things are going to get delayed. Will it affect the housing market, home values? Gosh, there's just no way to know. That is something that we're really going to have to kind of wait for this to be over, understand how much complete damage that there has been, and then where are things going to go from there. So that is not really a question that I'd be able to answer today. Okay, so Mary says, wow, thank you. So you're very welcome, and thank you for asking the question. And again, I want to remind everybody this is interactive. So that was a great question for Mary to ask. It's something that would help someone else that might possibly be in the middle of a transaction right now, and they would have never known that this was happening. So if you guys have questions about something that I'm saying, please feel free to put your question into the feed. I am going to read it out loud, and I'm going to answer it for you. And if you have a question, I guarantee that somebody else has the same question, and I want to make sure that everybody gets all of their questions answered. So please feel free to do so. Okay, so going back to if your home had a fire, okay? So what to do with fire damaged items. So in many cases, materials may be too damaged to save or may be impossible to clean. Check with your local waste management department to determine the best way to dispose of fire damaged items. So again, you guys, you're going to probably want to reach out to whoever was your trash company that you were paying for trash pickup and find out what do you do? You're going to start with insurance. Insurance is going to talk to you about things. Then you're going to have to start, move towards contractors. There's going to be cleanup. There's going to be all of the removal of all of the burned items. You still own that land. So you are still the responsible landowner. So you need to understand how it's all going to work. So I would start by calling the company that services your trash pickup and finding out, is there some sort of service that is going to come out? Are there, what do you do? What do you do? That's the first call that you make as far as that for the debris removal. So inventory the belongings that are a total loss. So again, that's where I said you guys need to make those lists of everything that you own. What did you pay for it? And then you need to, and you're going to put everything that you own, everything. And then you're going to put, a check mark next to everything that is destroyed, that is not salvageable. So again, like I said, I was on the phone with a loan processor right before I came on here talking about a deal that we have in escrow that right now we can't close. And she has been evacuated, fire in her garage, and she's got tons of soot damage. There's no power. She can't go back to the property. The water's contaminated. So even if she could, she wouldn't be able to use the water. So this would be something that someone in her position would need to do. They need to go through, they need to have a list of everything they own, and then they need to start check marking next to everything that has been damaged and is not repairable or not salvageable. So how to clean smoke damage. So, gosh, you guys, how to remove soot, how to ventilate, how to wash walls, how to textile clean, how to wipe down appliances and electronics, how to deep clean your HVAC, how to clean out cabinets and appliances. Really important stuff that you guys can find online, and you need to understand how to do these things. So if your home was complete loss, obviously this does not pertain to you. But if you have damage to your home, think about, right before I came on the show, obviously the news has just been going 24/7. We've been watching it. And right before I sat down, I saw that there was a home that was on PCH, and it's literally the only home in that row of homes that made it. And the comment that I made to my son, Manny, is I said, I feel really awful for that person that their home made it. And most people looking at that news story might be thinking, wow, that lucky person, their home is still there. They didn't sustain any damage. Like, gosh, how, God was looking over them. But for that person, the amount of smoke, the amount of water, the amount of damage that has taken place to that home is going to be awful. The smell in their house, to get the smell out from all the burning homes in the neighborhood that went down around their property, to be able to clean that house, for water to have good, clean water again. Honestly, they have got so much work ahead of them to try to repair the home that is still there. that they didn't get lucky. Nobody got lucky in this situation. This is terrible for everybody. But if you need to understand how to do these things, again, that website that I found, that Frontline Wildfire Defense website, has all kinds of great things for you. Like I said, all the way down to textile cleaning. Wash your clothing with vinegar. It may take several cycles. Send rugs and curtains out to be professionally cleaned. Wipe down appliances and electronics. Wiping appliances down using vinegar solution or an enzymatic cleaner formulated to remove smoke can be effective. You need to deep clean those HVACs. So there's so much that you guys can find online if you're somebody that wants to try to get in there and do it yourself, and you don't want to try to call water restoration companies or have to pay outside companies to come in to try to do things. Now, you have to remember that there are going to be flooding risks after wildfires. So one thing that I did see someone made a comment on social media about was, and it was huge, and it was, prayers for California to get a ton of rain to help with these fires. And although you would think in your head that that would be the best thing that could possibly happen right now, let's get some rain in there. Let's get these fires put out. Remember that after fires come mudslides. We have flooding risks after fires. So what I'd rather that the prayer be is, can we get a light dusting of rain? Can we get a little drizzle and nothing else, right? But we need to get some humidity in the air. Yes. But do we want some massive, massive downpours right now? No, we don't. We don't want that right now. So flooding risks after wildfires. Fire and water go together during wildfires. With vegetation gone, soils exposed to erosion and can be susceptible to mudslides. The heat of a fire hardens some soils almost like ceramic, so it does not absorb rainwater, which increases runoff and causes even more erosion. Streams can clog and debris. Fire breaks can divert the natural flow of water. Road damage systems may be damaged. Road drainage systems may be damaged. Down trees, fences, pipes, power lines, and buildings can create more hazards that restrict the flow of water. So again, we don't want to pray for a major, major rainstorm, guys. We just want to pray for maybe a little drizzle, a little dusting. And we want to pray that we can get these winds to get stopped. So Michelle said, should these affected people still go to work? Is there anything that can help with their income? So there are actual resources that I did see that were online, and they can Google that as well. I think I've actually got the notes here. There is assistance that you can get, and I believe that the Convoy of Hope website was the one that I saw it on, where they do actually, there are government programs, and I believe FEMA as well, but there are programs to assist with people that have lost their jobs because of the fires. So if their job has been displaced, I believe that you can get help for that as well. If somebody has a job and they can go to work, so they're not, obviously not putting themselves in danger. If they can continue to work their job, yes, they should go to work. I'm an advocate of working, right? This poor girl, she's a loan processor. She's been evacuated from her home. I said, where are you staying? She said, I'm in my RV parked in front of my mom's house, and I'm working from my RV. I'm a big advocate, and keep working. It's going to keep your mental stability there. If you've got a job that you can go to, or you have a job that you work remote and you can continue to work through things that are happening, it's really, really easy mentally to shut down and to just kind of let go, and just everything will spiral out of control. If you can keep yourself in your normal rhythm, in your normal pattern, if you can keep working, if you can keep taking phone calls, if you can get to work or work from wherever you're staying, absolutely. If you don't have that opportunity, if you can't return back to work because your work is gone, if you can't work remotely and you can't get to work, I mean, there are government assistance, there are assistance programs. So all you need to do, like I said, is go to the FEMA website, go to the Convoy of Hope website, go to what was the other one that I told you guys? Again, I'm looking through all my notes, the Frontline Wildfire Defense. and Google to find more information about what can be helpful. But Michelle, great question. Thank you so much for asking that. So there is the Disaster Assistance Improvement Program, which makes it easier to find and apply for disaster assistance. So that is also somewhere that you can go. Local and state agencies. Often states have their own relief funds set aside for disaster or emergencies and assistance resources. So again, look at some of the local state agencies as well. Find their websites. The Convoy of Hope also said the same thing that I found on FEMA's website and that I found on other websites, which is adequate insurance coverage. So FEMA does not provide assistance for losses that are covered by insurance. If your insurance policy covers all of your damages, you will likely not qualify for FEMA aid. But if your insurance company doesn't cover all of your damages or cover everything that you need, then that is where FEMA does step in. Second residence or investment property, like I mentioned a bit ago in the show, FEMA typically provides aid for primary residences only. So if the damaged property is a second home or an investment property, you're probably not going to get help from FEMA. And I think that is about all that I could find that I think that is really important for you if you have lost a home or if you have a home that is severely damaged. I do want to talk, though I promised that I was going to get to this at the beginning of the show. I do want to talk about people that live in California, especially Southern California, and their insurance policies and insurance policies coming up for renewal. We saw a humongous amount of people that lost insurance coverage. We've seen full condominium complexes that have completely lost fire insurance. And that has happened over these last, really starting in 2019 and moving forward. And we've seen every year the insurance get more and more expensive. So I can tell you that if somebody was coming to me in the year of 2018 and they were looking to purchase a home, and that home was for an amount of $600,000, let's say, I would have been quoting a policy of about $1,200 a year, maybe $80 or $90 a month, maybe $100 a month, depending on what, coverages that they got, what deductibles that they got. As of today, if somebody comes to me for they want to purchase a home and they tell me they want to buy something for $600,000, I am quoting somewhere more around $150 a month. I'm expecting to see more of an $1,800 a year policy, maybe even a $2,000 a year policy. If they tell me that they are looking in an area that I know would be a high fire area, I'm actually telling them that we need to reach out to an insurance agent before I can even do the pre-approval. And why do I say that? The California Fair Plan is very, very expensive, which is a reason why many homeowners that had their insurance policies dropped did not get new coverage. They could not afford the California Fair Plan. California Fair Plan is put into place as a last resort option for you if your property cannot be covered by private insurance companies like State Farm, Farmers, Allstate, Travelers. If you cannot get insurance coverage, that is where the California Fair Plan comes into play. It is expensive. It is very expensive. It is an expensive policy. Now, can I change that? No. Can I tell you if there's a way to change that? I can't. But what I can tell you is that if a lot of these people that are losing their homes that didn't have any coverage at all, had they had the California Fair Plan policy, if they would have been able to afford it, or they would have chose to maybe downgrade something else in their life to be able to afford the insurance on that policy, they would be in a better position today. So the one thing that I can tell you is do not go out without insurance, you guys. You have to have insurance. If your company that you have your insurance with right now does drop your policy, they cancel your coverage, make sure that you look into other options. Your very first step is to start with a broker. A broker, an insurance broker, is a really good place to start because they're going to shop with many insurance companies to see if there are any insurance companies that are willing to take on your home. I use a broker all of the time for my clients. I always tell them that they are more than welcome to go and get their own quote from their own insurance agent. I'm more than happy to work with anybody that they want me to work with. But I always go to my insurance broker as well, and I get a quote from him for the policy. If he tells me that he cannot give a policy for the property, that it is going to have to go through California Fair Plan, then I know that it is important that we're having the conversation with the client about what that fair plan is going to cost, on top of the fact that we know that with the fair plan, which we just talked about earlier in the show, you have to have a second policy to cover the normal things that would be in a typical homeowner's insurance policy. So somebody comes on your property, there's a slip and fall, there's a water pipe busts and leaks, and you've got water damage. Something happens that you need homeowner's insurance. California Fair Plan does not cover that. So we need to make sure that we're looking at what's the cost of two policies, and then what is that cost monthly, and then now what sales price do you qualify for? And hey, Mr. Pre-approval buyer, is this monthly payment going to feel comfortable for you, because this insurance is going to be quite a bit more than what you would have expected. So, it's really, really important that you do try to keep insurance. You're going to start with a broker. You can contact me. You can call me. I'd be happy to give you the name and number of the gentleman that I always go to for my quotes. And he can, number one, search to find the very best cost policy for you that he can find. If he cannot find you a policy with a normal insurance company, then he can help you with California Fair Plan. And I would tell you that it is really important. I mean, even if you had to get rid of a car payment, or let go of something that you're used to so that you can afford that homeowner's insurance, guys, do it. Make sure that you are covered. Make sure that your house is covered. It is so important. So a couple of things about the California Fair Plan. If you're watching and you don't have insurance coverage right now, your insurance carrier did drop you, and you did not get a new insurance plan, now is the time to do that. So let's talk about California Fair Plan. So California Fair Plan, it is, like I said, the last resort option for you if you cannot get insurance with a different carrier. The California Fair Plan Association was established to meet the needs of California homeowners unable to find insurance in the traditional marketplace. The Fair Plan is not a state agency, nor is it a public entity. There is no public or taxpayer funding, so be aware of that. The Fair Plan is a syndicated fire insurance pool comprised of all insurers licensed to conduct property casualty business in California. The Fair Plan was established by statute, California Insurance Code Sections 10091, in August of 1968 as an insurance placement facility. All licensed property casualty insurers which write basic property insurance required by insurance code sections, blah, 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 and blah, 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 are members of the Fair Plan. The Fair Plan issues policies on behalf of its member companies. Each member company participates in the profits, losses, and expenses of the plan in direct proportion to its market share of business written in the state. So to understand that a little bit better, I'll kind of break that down. Basically, every insurance company that does business in California, they are all required to put money into a pool. In that pool is where the people that cannot get coverage from all of the private insurance agents or insurance companies that write in the state of California, when they can't get insurance, they go to the Fair Plan. Out of that pool of money from all these different insurance companies is where your insurance policy gets written from. So when there is a loss, all of the companies that have money in this pool all take on fairly the benefits and losses, right? So the income coming in from people paying for Fair Plan when there are no losses or anybody filing claims. So there's no claims. So they're benefiting, right? They've got the income coming in on it. But then when there are claims, then they're also paying out on claims. So that is what the California Fair Plan is, to understand it. It's really pretty simple. It is going to be very, very difficult. Not very difficult. I'm sorry. It's going to be very similar to earthquake insurance, where there are going to be a little bit bigger deductibles. Deductibles are going to be based on percentages. It's not going to just be like a flat $1,000 or $5,000 or $2,000. So again, if you have a California Fair Plan and you just lost your home or you've got damage to your home, make sure you get your hands on that policy and make sure you read through that policy to understand what your responsibility is going to be. And then that is where you are going to then turn over and you're going to apply with FEMA for FEMA to help you to offset maybe hopefully all, but at least some of the portion of what you might lose out of your pocket. The last thing that I want to tell you guys to do if you have incurred losses or damage right now is I want you guys to call your mortgage company. If you have a mortgage on the home, call your mortgage company. Your insurance is there. The mortgage companies require that you have insurance. It is a requirement to get the loan because they want that mortgage to be covered. They don't want you to lose the property. They don't want foreclosures. The insurance, if you have a good policy, should be helping you with assistance for rent to go stay somewhere else while you rebuild. So mortgage companies are going to require that you continue to pay your mortgage payment. If your house burned down, that doesn't mean that your mortgage goes away. It doesn't mean that you no longer have to make a payment. You have to make a payment. You have to continue to make a payment. The insurance is what is there to help offset you in your losses, okay? However, every mortgage company is going to be different. Every servicing lender for every mortgage company is going to be different. So just like we saw during times of COVID, where people couldn't go to work, they were losing jobs, they couldn't make payments, they were at losses, you were able to call your mortgage company and they were able to put you on deferment. I am not telling you that they will do this. I am not telling you that they will offer it to you. But what I'm telling you is that you have lost everything or you've lost a big chunk of everything. It absolutely does not hurt to pick up the phone and call the 800 number on your mortgage statement. Let them know that you have had damage or that you have had complete loss and that you are you're staying with family until you can find somewhere temporary to go. Everything is an absolute mess. You don't know if you're going to be able to get into work or to keep working. And is there anything that they can do to help you temporarily? They may be willing to help you with a deferral of the payment for maybe a couple of months while you get set up in where your new place for where you're going to live is going to be. So again, I can't promise you that they are going to do that. I cannot tell you that there is going to be anything that they will offer. But what I can tell you is that it is worth the phone call. Pick up the phone and call the number. So Michelle did say, can you repeat what FEMA covers for primary homes versus what FEMA doesn't cover on investment properties, please? So FEMA will typically only help for primary residences. So if you have an investment property or a second home vacation property, you are most likely not going to get any help from FEMA at all. FEMA is there as a last resort. FEMA is there to help you with the needs, with things that you need help with, that your insurance does not cover. How much that FEMA will help each individual person, I do not work for FEMA. I cannot say what FEMA is going to help with, and I cannot tell you what you're entitled to. But if you go to their website, they have got a huge list of things that they will assist with, and filling out an application if you've had a loss to your primary residence would absolutely be beneficial. Michelle says, what about people who have paid off their mortgages who are not required to buy home insurance? Can they now buy insurance? So if the home is burnt to the ground, the home is gone, there is no insurance agent or a company that is going to insure a home that's not there. So, and I'm assuming what you're asking is if the home is there, it was untouched, it wasn't damaged during these fires, and you didn't have homeowners insurance previously, can you call now and can you get insurance? Absolutely, you can. And I would tell you, anybody that owns a home free and clear, and there's so many that don't have insurance, please get insurance of some sort, even if it is a super, super high deductible. Get some sort of insurance. You need something to help you if your home was to burn down. That is a huge asset that you owe nothing against. That if it burns down and it is gone, you just lost that asset. That's like having money in Bitcoin and you lost your passwords or you lost your key. You can't find it and your Bitcoin is gone. If your home burns down and there is no insurance, it's terrible. Now, if your home burns down, you have no insurance, and the president has declared the area a disaster, which in this situation that we're talking about today for LA County, he has declared it a disaster. FEMA is there to help. So even if you didn't have insurance coverage, then you should still complete an application for FEMA. What they're going to help you with, I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm not going to, tell you that you're going to be able to get your house rebuilt. But what I can tell you is that they are there for assistance, and it is for what insurance doesn't cover. So if you didn't have insurance, insurance isn't going to cover anything. FEMA is still there to help you. So yes, file a claim with FEMA. Chief Manny says, pray for all the firefighters out there putting their lives on the line for everyone. And yes, I agree with that, Manny. Thank you so much. Yes, just everybody that is helping and doing anything that they can. I'm like I said, I'm doing this show. I'm not talking about mortgages. I'm not telling you guys to call my office. I'm not telling you to give me a loan. I'm doing this because I just feel so bad. And this is the only way that I know how to help and how to touch people and to get you details and information that you might need. Michelle says, what kind of help? So I'm not exactly sure what she is referring to. But let's go back to FEMA one more time. Let me pull up my FEMA. So I'm going to read what I wrote on FEMA. And again, then it's going to be up to you guys to get your applications in for assistance. So what does FEMA do for house fire victims? So I did pull this up. FEMA can provide a variety of assistance to house fire victims, including rental assistance, money to rent temporary housing if you are displaced from your home, lodging expense reimbursement, money to cover more emergency lodging expenses like a hotel or motel, home repair or replacement, money to repair or replace your home, including utilities and residential infrastructure, accessibility needs, money to help survivors with a disability make repairs to ensure their home is accessible, personal property assistance, grants to replace personal property, transportation assistance, assistance with transportation, medical and dental assistance, assistance with medical and dental needs, funeral assistance, assistance with funeral costs. FEMA's assistance is for eligible expenses and losses that aren't covered by insurance or other sources. To calculate and verify your losses, a home inspection is required. FEMA also offers temporary housing units if rental assistance isn't available, hazard mitigation to help homeowners repair or rebuild stronger homes, fire management assistance grants to help states, local, and tribal governments manage fires. You can also contact your local disaster relief service, such as the ARC or the Salvation Army, for help. The Red Cross, obviously, is always a helpful place that you guys can look at as well. But FEMA does a lot. So when I say that I'm not going to tell you guys what they will or won't do, I'm not going to tell you what you personally are going to be approved for. That's obviously for FEMA. I don't work for FEMA. I am not a FEMA employee. And I can't tell you what, your particular circumstances are going to qualify you for help. But what I can tell you from the research that I've done and what I've gathered is that FEMA, it does a lot. They have a lot of assistance and they help with a lot of things, but you do need to get your claim filed. It is very important to get a claim filed. So let's go through these steps one by one. What are you going to do if you have had damage or you've lost your home? And number two, before I even jump back into that, for those of you that have a home and you do not have fire insurance, please get insurance. It is so important. If you have a home and you have insurance and your home insurance policy gets canceled, do not take that with a grain of salt. Do not walk away and just say, okay, well, forget it. I guess I can't have insurance. Get insurance. Find a broker, call me, contact me, go to my website, go to mortgagemomradio.com, send me a message through the contact us button. I will give you the name and number of my insurance broker. Find a policy somehow. Get yourself insurance. It is so important to have that asset insured, and make sure you guys have your assets insured for the right amount. There's replacement cost coverage. You need to make sure that your home is covered for enough money to replace everything that burns to the ground, all your personal belongings, your wedding ring if it's gone, those paintings that might mean $1 million to you. Make sure that you guys have good coverage. It's important to cover everything. So let's go through one more time what you guys need to do if you have experienced the loss. So number 1, breathe. Number 2, make sure you are somewhere that you can stay, that you are safe. Call 211 if you need help finding somewhere, you need assistance for a location to get to somewhere to stay. Contact Red Cross, go to shelter, just get yourself somewhere safe. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2, breathe and make sure that you start to make a list of everything that you own and what everything is worth, and try to do as much absolute digging as you possibly can. Go to every single account you've ever made to buy anything. Go to your Best Buy account, go to your Amazon account, go to Home Depot accounts, anywhere that you have bought anything, even furniture. Go to the account, Pottery Barn, if that's where you got it from. Lowe's, wherever that it came from, outside furniture, inside furniture, electronics, TVs, everything. Go to every single one of those accounts and start downloading the receipts. I know that you've probably bought things that aren't going to be online, but this is just the best that I can possibly try to give you to find some sort of documentation rather than having nothing. So make yourself a list of everything that you've got. Try to find as many receipts as you can. Try to find as many pictures that you can of things that you had that were in your home and what they were. And if you have not lost everything, when we finish this show in a couple of minutes and we stop the recording, go home. If you're at home, fantastic. When you get home from work, the minute you walk through the door, the minute you pull into your driveway, start taking pictures and take pictures of everything. You guys have to have this on record of what you've got, the items that you have. So sit down and make that list. Very, very important. Number 4, I believe that was number 3 I gave you guys. Number 4, you're going to call your insurance agent to get your hands on the policies, whatever homeowners insurance policies that you have. So call your insurance agent, send them an email, get your hands on the policy. If I've done a mortgage for you, reach out to me. If I've got a copy of your policy, I'd be happy to send that over to you, anything that I can do to help. From there, your insurance agent is going to guide you through when you can make a claim. Remember that claims have time frames. You have to put in a claim within a certain amount of time. Do not miss your window. So find out, can I put in a claim now? Do I have to wait until this disaster is declared as over? But make sure you get in your claim. Then you're going to go to FEMA, put in your claim with FEMA. Same thing again. You may have to wait until it's been declared that it's over in order to apply and put it in. But reach out to FEMA, call their phone number, go to their website, make sure that you guys get in that FEMA claim as well. Then from there, you can start to then reevaluate what else you have going on. If there is anything that I can do, by all means, please feel free to reach out. I don't know how else that I can help. I will research, I will Google, I will try to find answers for you. I will do anything at all that I possibly can. I'm Debbie Marcoux. Let's see. I think Michelle said, she said what kind of help, but I don't think that she clarified. So with that, I'm Debbie Marcoux. I hope that this has been a helpful show for you guys today. I hope that you were able to get something from it that you didn't know. And like I said, if I can help in any way, please call. It's 844-935-3634. That's 844-WE-LEND-FOR-YOU, WELEND, and the number 4. Or you can go to the website, go to mortgagemomradio.com and you can click on that contact us button and you can send me a message right through the website. So I hope you guys all have a fabulous rest of your day. Prayers for less wind, prayers for a small dusting of water, but prayers that that all of this comes to an end very, very soon, and prayers for all of our first responders. Hope you guys all have a fabulous one. I'll be back next week. Talk to y'all real soon.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida L076508, Georgia 69178, Idaho MLO 20802379926, Illinois 031.0058339, Missouri, North Carolina I210940, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.